At the center of this story are three people whose lives have become dangerously entangled, each carrying unmet needs, quiet desperation, and choices that would collide with irreversible consequences. Alton Arges was just 19 years old, but he carried himself with a confidence that made people forget his age. Standing over 6 feet tall with an easy smile and calm presence, he had a way of drawing people in without ever seeming like he was trying. Conversations flowed naturally around him. Compliments felt genuine. Attention felt personal. Raised by a single mother who worked long hours as a nurse, Alton had grown up learning how to read people. He understood moods, longings, and emotional gaps instinctively. It was a skill that served him well, especially his part-time job as a barista at the local coffee shop, where customers often lingered longer than necessary just to talk to him. After graduating high school, Alton moved to a quiet suburb of Redwood, staying temporarily with his mother's old friend. He talked loosely about attending community college someday, but for now, he was enjoying freedom, no rules, steady income, and a neighborhood that welcomed him quickly. Too quickly. On one side of his new home lived the Carrells, an outwardly perfect couple with a pristine house and carefully maintained appearances. On the other side lived Delilah Frost, a recently divorced woman trying to rebuild a life that had fallen apart. Neither relationship seemed remarkable at first, but both would change everything. Mandy Carrell had spent 15 years married to Gregory, a respected surgeon whose demanding career slowly consumed the marriage. What once felt like partnership became distance. Intimacy faded. Conversations turned transactional. Mandy had once dreamed of becoming an artist. Her early paintings were bold, emotional, alive. Over time, those dreams were boxed away in the basement, sacrificed to maintain an image of success that left her deeply unfulfilled. When she first met Alton on a warm Saturday morning, the interaction felt harmless. She brought cookies to welcome him to the neighborhood. He smiled. He listened. He asked questions, real ones. Something stirred inside her. Alton didn't see her as a background character in someone else's success story. He saw her. What began as casual conversations slowly deepened. Mandy found reasons to be outside when Alton was home. Their talks lingered. He encouraged her art, asked about her paintings, and treated her passions as something that mattered. One quiet evening, when Gregory was working late, as he often did, Mandy invited Alton into the basement to show him her old work. Surrounded by unfinished dreams and muted light, boundaries blurred. That night marked the beginning of an affair Mandy knew she shouldn't want, but couldn't resist. Just steps away, Delilah Frost was fighting a very different battle. At 42, she was fresh out of a 20-year marriage marked by emotional control and constant criticism. The divorce had left her financially strained, emotionally raw, and questioning her worth. Her first interaction with Alton came on a rainy afternoon when he helped her carry groceries. It was a small kindness, but one she hadn't felt in years. He listened without judgment when she spoke about her divorce. He offered encouragement without expectation. Slowly, Delilah began to feel like herself again. Coffee turned into long walks. Conversations turned into connection. Alton praised her graphic design work, even helping her rebuild confidence in her career. Where Mandy felt seen creatively, Delilah felt valued personally, and Alton let both relationships grow. By summer's end, he was living two separate lives, carefully managed, carefully justified. With Mandy, he shared intensity and passion. With Delilah, comfort and reassurance. He convinced himself he was helping them heal. But cracks were forming. As autumn arrived, both women began wanting more. Mandy spoke about leaving her marriage. Delilah hinted at a future. Alton started making excuses, juggling schedules, deleting messages, and living in constant anxiety. The balance was unsustainable. Everything collapsed at the town's annual harvest festival. Under string lights and music, Mandy spotted Alton first and greeted him warmly. Too warmly. Moments later, Delilah approached. The realization was instant. Subtle glances became sharp observations. Familiar gestures exposed hidden truths. The bracelet on Alton's wrist, the same one Mandy had given him, ended the illusion. Both women walked away, devastated in different ways. The fallout spread fast. The neighborhood whispered. Alton retreated. Mandy's marriage unraveled publicly. Delilah withdrew completely. What had once been private pain turned into public humiliation. But humiliation soon became something darker. Days later, Delilah sent Alton a brief email asking for closure. Mandy, still knowing his password, saw it. Something inside her snapped. Consumed by jealousy, fear, and loss, Mandy retrieved a handgun from her husband's desk, a weapon she never imagined touching. She confronted Delilah outside. Words escalated. Emotion surged. A single gunshot shattered the morning calm. Delilah collapsed. Mandy froze. By the time help arrived, Delilah Frost was gone. The community of Redwood was left stunned, forced to confront how quickly passion, secrecy, and emotional neglect could turn lethal. Mandy Carell was arrested without resistance. At trial, the jury weighed intent against emotional collapse. In the end, she was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 18 years in prison. Alton Arges disappeared from the spotlight, carrying the quiet weight of choices he could never undo. And Redwood, once known for its peace, was forever changed.